Redditors who went to private religious schools, what are your horror stories? Parents forced me to enroll in a private Pentecostal college before I turned 18. Semester 1, 18 years old and a stricter curfew than I had growing up. Campus would lick down at 1:30. If you showed up late you had to check in with security and be escorted back into the dorm. After 3 strikes you got fined for every tardy. Or the other option was to not have anywhere to go. I guess it's better that you don't have a place to sleep than if you're allowed to be a dumb 18-19-year-old. I eventually figured out that if I shimmied down the freight elevator to the basement, I could unlock the old storm door that led outside. Never saw a fine again. Mandatory chapel. 5 days a week. Let me rephrase that. Mandatory evangelical chapel. If you missed 6 or more in a semester, you got fined for each one. A lot of the good Christian kids are going to be pastors and would scan their card and just go back to the dorm for Halo or nap time. I never liked lying, so I felt worse for scanning and leaving than just not wanting to go. So I got more fines. A kid got asbestos poisoning from the wall. It's not like it happened because of us, but we probably made it worse. There was a super crappy patch job for a piece of sheetrock they installed. No mudding or taping around the patch, just 4 easily accessible screws in the corners. So naturally we unscrewed it, to find out that the inside of the was big enough to get inside and climb up the stud/braces in the wall. Made it to the 5th floor, the top floor, and found all this old medical device equipment and x-rays, roof access etc. The kid that slept on the bunk, literally the floor, next to where we removed the sheetrock patch went home a year later with a $3 million settlement and asbestos poisoning. Instead of updating the building and fixing the problems, the university spent millions of dollars on a new chapel building. Finally, one more. A handful of the gays banded together to demand a real conversation, respect, better treatment, and acceptance. A kid I grew up seeing in Bible camps was part of it. I was super happy he just finally came out and accepted himself. That was the last day I saw him. The school kicked all the gays out, and I never heard from him again. Super nice dude, and he had it so hard growing up in the crap state we lived in. He finally escaped and made it to the city, only to have these zealous pieces of crap throw him out on the street. The only good thing about this experience was that it started me on a real journey to find God. That led me to atheism. Life is much better these days. Total fines for 1.5 years of church college, $6,000. My card apparently scanned, but didn't record all the chapel visits. I worked overnight security on the weekends. Instead of giving me an exclusion like they said they would, they fined me. Also, I failed English 101 because I said $5 million on a new chapel wouldn't make it a better place to worship, and that if that was true, God must not give a crap about an African believer praying on a dirt floor. So that was another wasted $2,800.